Hi and welcome back to this lab. In this series of videos, we're testing the local user and group management capabilities of Centrify Suite 2016. In the previous video, we actually installed the prerequisites. All you need is the consoles or PowerShell for 2016, and your domain join system should be at 5.3. So this is my test plan right here. We're going to start with groups. So the first test is to provision a local group to all systems, to a subset of systems, manage group memberships, and do removal. And the data that I have is I have a group that I'm going to create globally and a group that is going to apply only to PCI systems. So let's do first my group that is everywhere. So I have several domain join machines, including some Windows machines, but let's focus on this CentOS 6 machine right here and this Ubuntu machine. Both machines have been grouped in different collections of systems. If I go on to authorization, you'll see that my um, my app servers, the Ubuntu 14 machine is an app server. However, my member 6 machine is a PCI system. In this test, I'm going to make sure that I create a group that it should be available everywhere, and that we can do some memberships. So notice that I have a test user already. We're going to do the user tests in the second wave, but let's go ahead and do this. So my first group is going to be called global group. Right? And the GID for this group is going to be um, 3131. Okay, so now I have the ability to either do group members. I'm not going to do it now, um, but I have the ability to enable it or actually remove it from XC group. So I'm going to press OK. Notice that the visibility, so I can make the visibility for this group to be at the global level. So let's go ahead and test this. So what have I done here? I made a change in Active Directory inside the Centrify zone. We don't want to wait the cache flush interval, so I'm going to have to use the AD flush command. But first, let's do a getent group and then global. Notice that it is non-existing. I mean, I would have to get really lucky for the cache flush interval to happen at that point. So let's let's do an AD flush. It can only be run by root, so you know, I have to elevate. So now if I do a getent group, global group, notice that the group exists, but there's no members on it. I expect the same thing to happen in this side too, in the Ubuntu side. Actually, on the CentOS side. So now if I do this, the group exists. Let's do the group membership tests, right? So if I wanted to add somebody to that group, I think I have an account already, a local account. Let's see, my test, right? I can add my test to that group. And that's a local group. So local groups can have Active Directory users and they can have also local users. So let's add this, and it's in my account, right? So I'm adding that person in there. I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna repeat the same cadence. So an AD flush. Let's clear the screen here, and let's do a getent. And now notice that my account is actually there. As a matter of fact, if I do the same here, just do AD flush, clear, and there you go. My account is a member. If I were to do the other way around, I just remove it, and it's actually really common for people to when they're testing to use this cadence, right? So I just removed it. I'm not even gonna go here because it's implied. So visibility can be controlled. So remember that with Centrify you can have child zones, right? And computer overrides, right? So I typically say to people, this is identity management, so you have to exercise caution. Let's just say I wanted, for example, to do it only at the um, PCI machine level, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove from Etsy group, right? Or actually, no, let's just leave that guy here and let's just go at the machine level. And I'm gonna do an override at the machine level. I completely advise against this being a common practice. This is an exception, right? You know, you would have collections of machines and you do it at that level. So I want my second group, which is card data 3232, to be visible only in this machine. So I go to the machine. Each machine has a UNIX data node. So I can have a local group here and I can define it. And I'm going to do card data, right? Um, I set at 3232 and I'm going to add, actually, I'm not going to add anybody. I mean, this was already tested. So I'm going to go ahead and enable it. So there's several things that when I do an override, you know, I probably have to force the AD flush. So let's do AD flush minus F, right? So it's going to force it. And if I do a get tent group in this case, card data, here it is. So again, there's several ways that you can do this. This is just a testing lab, but typically, you know, you would group machines if you want those machines to have just that group visible. And remember, you can control visibility as well. So I'm hoping that this actually helped. In the next video, we're going to do the local user tests. Okay.